And it's going to be the Nidalee priority for Swift.
Yeah, Nidalee going to be picked away here. Spirit considering a Lee Sin, but the comfort. The comfort of his Fizz that he's just really wanted to make work there in the jungle. Aluka, able to pick up his Scion if he wants to, but of course Shen, being a very strong pick at the moment, would not be surprised if he was to grab that one.
And I talk about this all the time, you know, Shaggy, they have a phenomenal win rate on blue side, but what does that mean? What are they doing with their priority pick to give them such an advantage? And it's typically when they first rotation something for their bot lane, particularly either Sivir, Kalista, or Janna. So banning Janna from blue side and giving their priority away to Swift is actually fairly uncommon to Xiaogu's recipe for success when they are on blue side.
I guess what they're identifying is the fact that Spirit, a very strong member of this WE side.
Oh my god, that insta-lock.
Yeah, well, Doinby's hovering the Kassadin.
He grabbed it real quick.
Oh yeah, he was well and truly hovering that one beforehand.
He might just be taunting them. I think it'd be pretty suicidal to pick Kassadin this early. Not suicidal, but...
Yeah, well, the matchups for Kassadin have improved, but with the Victor banned away, of course, I don't know, Doinby has had some brilliant sort of games on the Kassadin irrespective. Now hovering the Bron, we'll see what QG are going to lock away for the next two, because this will give us an idea of exactly what they're aiming to do, and could be a poke composition potentially with the Maokai there for some soak. TCT on the Bron. See how it goes.
I like the second rotation of Annie by WE to deny TCT. So TCT, again, they already banned Janna from blue side, which he's been playing a lot of Janna. His other big champion is going to be that Annie. So taking it that early away from him and giving it into the hands of Conan.
Well, you were talking about GA being a Annie mid player.
I wish.
The flex.
It's on.
It could happen. But it's now WE's turn to hover the Kassadin. We'll see what they actually want to lock in here. This will give us an idea well and truly of what WE have in store for us.
You have to suspect that Doinby will look towards Azir or Lulu. Lulu, I think, is going to have a better matchup against Kassadin. Azir is good because he's going to be able to shove him in and punish him, but the thing is that Kassadin's Rift Walk on his kit, as it gets locked in, allows him to kind of reposition around Azir's Emperor's Divide. So I kind of feel like it's going to be... Lulu or Morgana just to offer some safety against the assassination potential of Kassadin.
Yeah, at the moment, you've got QG cycling through a whole bunch of different picks. Doinby thinking about a Zed. Not sure whether that one's going to get locked in.
You want this one?
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of different options.
This
TNT
one?
can go for the Vayne, though. That would make some sense. The auto reset on the tumble. With those concussive blows from TCT's Braum.
Is it an auto reset?
Tumble, yeah. Especially if you use it very close to a wall, because...
Yeah, I was going to say you'd have to deny the animation, or at least shorten it.
But early game, it actually counts as a reset, because your attack speed not as high.
Auto, tumble, auto.
Yeah, that old business. But WE with a very aggressive Kassadin pick. Doinby's going to go back to the Nautilus, potentially. Unless that is going to be
Maokai mid. He's
jungle.
done both.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
I think it's the Nautilus mid. We've already seen this out of Doinby.
We certainly have.
Against, I believe it was the King matchup to deny the Yasuo.
Well, it's going to deny almost anything there in the mid lane. As he probably will still be able to farm quite fine.
Yeah, he'll be okay. There's not there's not a ton of kill pressure that Nautilus is going to be able to impact on someone. But the thing is once Nautilus catches you, it's very hard to get away from him.
There's also the fact that they've got a lot of damage running around the jungle. So Swift on the Nidalee is going to be able to follow up all the CC from Doinby very effectively.
Here we go, though. Last pick will be that Grave. So we have a ton of burst damage in WE's bot lane. It's all about a ton of kill potential. That said, TCT on that Braum does have quite a few answers on his kit with his shield to deny a lot of that damage.
Yep, you drop a bear on top of him, though. That shield's not going to be doing so much.
I feel like this is when WE really succeed with their compositions, when they kind of just throw everything out the window and they just all grab 5 champions that can carry.
And what do I like playing? I like playing big tank guys, says Aluka, so he grabs Shen. Spirit says, I just love playing Fizz jungle, so he's going to play that. And Qiao has had great times on the melee
play mobile
assassin mid lanes.
assassins.
Yeah, exactly. So, look, we'll see whether WE's comfort picks are going to get them to victory, but QG, a lot of tankiness, and when you're relying on 2 champions for damage, at the moment, Nidalee definitely a good option, but Vayne can't get much better than that as far as single target DPS is concerned.
And Nidalee's also going to give Vayne a nice steroid through the Primal Surge on the attack speed to really help her out and empower a lot of her siege, likewise the threat of the spear. But here we go, top lane, it's V versus Aluka, Shin versus Maokai.
Yeah, lots of damage in that top lane.
Making fun of me?
No, that was facetious. Just talking about that one. As Spirit versus, just able to pick up the Fizz, see how he goes against Swift's Nidalee. Is Doinby going to take the Nautilus, very standard mid laner, into the Kassadin? And TNT versus Mystic, Vayne versus Graves, AoE ridiculousness versus single target ridiculousness, and the Braum versus Annie.
TCT versus Conan the Barbarian.
Conan the Barbarian, ironically playing one of the smallest champions in the game.
He's vicious, watch out.
Well, most definitely, Annie certainly is that. But let's waste no more time. Let's hop onto the rift. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the rift for QG versus WE Game 1 for our second set of the final day of Week 10's LPL action. Only one more week after this to go before we get into the playoffs. Well and truly the pointy end for Oscar.
Week 10.
Week 10, day 12, 850 lives at stake.
I can't do it as well as you. Makes me sad.
I don't know what to say though, so I end up saying stupid stuff that doesn't make any sense. Oh, hang on. That's what I do most of the time. Jaundice Fizz in the hands of Spirit, though.
What did you call it?
Jaundice.
Oscar?
No, jaundice.
I don't know what that means. But
well, yellow. Liver failure.
Oh, okay. That was depressing.
Yeah, so it took a turn, didn't it?
Yeah, it's a 5-point setup from either of these two teams covering their jungle entrances. It looks like we will have a standard 2v2 on the bottom side, which Mystic's actually playing with Fog of War here. I don't know if he's actually been spotted out by TCT coming over that corner, but we do have Conan also in a situation that they could come around this corner at the same time and maybe get some good damage off.
I want Conan to blind flash, but he didn't do it.
I don't know what TCT is doing. He could eat a lot of damage at a very unfortunate time on the clock and miss some experience standing that far forward, but they don't realize that Vayne's not there.
Yeah, not doing anything just yet. Looks like we are going to have a start on the Gromp here for Spirit, though, as Conan and Mystic just hanging around, helping him out. Gromp start actually for both of these junglers. Very standard play, like not even necessarily LPL standard because it's often these lane swaps, often interesting stuff, but just going to be starting on the same sides of the map, standard lane.
This is actually fairly weird. Typically when a duo takes the Krug camp, they take the mini Krug and then walk into the lane just to give them a slight EXP advantage. Braum and Vayne are attempting to do both Krugs, so they're going to take a lot more damage. It's going to take them a lot longer to get over to their lane, but depending on how they share that EXP, which it looked like it went across both members, I believe it's, what, 3 creeps to level? Nope, they gave it all to TCT. Yeah, so it's a single creep to level 2, and they're not punishing with it.
Doing too much at all. Qiao is just going to wander up the lane, taking a bit of damage there from Doinby, but you can see the wet noodle fight erupting on the top side. TCT, yeah, he's hit level 2. He's still level 1, but they have to respect the stun.
Yeah, but I feel like if you're going to pull off an early level 1 play like that, I would expect Braum to, you know, like stand behind me to a creep and then just start punching people in the face and try to make the most out of your early passive as opposed to getting the level 2 and then just, hey, I'm going to sit in a bush.
Yeah.
That seems a little counterintuitive to me.
We'll see whether they have any other plans here. Of course, TNT getting the worst of these 80 carry trades is the true grit from Graves, just generally pretty strong as far as that is concerned, getting all of that extra resistance. Swift making his way down. They're
actually playing on the wrong side of the lane. Conan should be standing on Vayne's side of the lane. Oh no, Annie got the change to her auto attack. I'd have to double check. What do you know Annie's auto range off the top of your head?
Lower than it was.
Yeah, it's not 625 anymore. What I was going to say is typically Annie should be on Vayne's side, but she's going to outrange her. 575. To what, Vayne's 550?
I believe Vayne.
There they go. He's got it on the right side. And so this is what I was talking about. So if Conan's standing on TNT's side, he's able to bully him around because he outranges Vayne before he can hit him. So as long as he
right.
mirrors up on Vayne, whereas Vayne is doing a good job standing on Graves' side, and Vayne can actually trade fairly well with Graves, as you saw right there, because of her tumble. In fact, a lot of professional players consider Vayne a counter to Graves, because if she plays the tumble correctly, she can dodge out a lot of his buckshot damage. So again, you see Conan, he's trying to mirror TNT, because he's trying to force his zone of influence with his larger auto attack range on top of TNT.
Well, you can see as well the fact that, you know, that quick draw is still going to give Mystic a fair bit of power in the lane, and he has managed to farm up quite nicely. As GA trying to break this Titan's Wrath shield, but Flask is going to help GA make it back to full health here as well.
Of course, taking the Flask, pretty standard itemization on Kassadin anyway, but also very nice against someone like Nautilus, who's just going to push the wave, manipulate the wave, and chip away with you with his Riptide.
Yeah, and a whole lot of AoE damage, especially when you are melee. Difficult to stand up to that Riptide. Full Silver Bolts, TNT wanted it, but not going to find it there under Conan.
Problem was that Conan and Mystic didn't step up together, so Conan put himself out there without... So Annie in this situation is creating the zone, but it's up to Mystic to enforce the zone. So if Conan steps up too far forward without Graves following him, TNT is able to just trade freely like he did.
Well, nice use of the Unbreakable there from TCT. Stops a lot of the burst from that buckshot out of Mystic.
Just look at Conan follow him. I love it. It's so cute.
Oh my goodness, the Condemned's down here though. Mystic at 300 health, but going aggressive.
Teleport.
Teleports in. TCT, he's going to flash onto him. Spirit's down here. They're protecting Mystic. Doinby unable to get in there and get anything done.
The teleport not coming from the top laner, coming from that mid laner. If you guys happen to miss that, Doinby taking the teleport on his Nautilus as opposed to a defensive or kill summoner, just because, again, it's Nautilus. He doesn't need a kill summoner. He's not going to 100-0 anyone. No. And likewise, he doesn't need a defensive summoner because he's Nautilus.
And he's not going to die. So he's not going to kill anyone, not going to die. He's just going to be there. Very good at existing is Nautilus.
The other really fun thing about Nautilus in terms of Kassadin, because you think about they both have shields when they go to trade.
Yeah.
The Titan's Wrath, I'm sure it probably eats up a big majority of Kassadin's damage, especially early game. So this is why Doinby gets to be so aggressive, standing on the back of the caster creeps and just completely zone off Qiao, because if he goes to trade with him, he's just going to press his Titan's Wrath and say bye-bye to that damage.
Yeah, and then if you press Titan's Wrath and then can auto-attack someone in a creep wave, you do a whole lot of AoE damage, so you're still pushing the wave. You're still creating pressure in this lane. As the Dredge line comes in, there's the staggering blows. Titan's Wrath again, this time just allowing him to tank up the tower. It's
really unfortunate for Qiao to try to last hit underneath the tower because he is a melee champion. Typically against a Nautilus, when Nautilus is in the 2v2, because you're ranged, you can use the tower to hide against the Dredge line and stand behind the tower and shoot your autos. But again, Kassadin, as a melee champion, has to come out of the tower, isn't able to use it as a block because it's a structure, and eat these Dredge lines.
Well, you can see BF Sword was picked up here by Mystic as he went back to base. TNT has an opportunity now to even up this farm, but this minion wave is going to get caught by Mystic, so still going to stay very, very even. Aluka with the key strike. Ooh. TNT gets a tumbled auto onto Conan. He says, okay, well, I'm just going to pink ward this brush then, you jerks. Stop hitting me and stuff.
Really vying for this dragon control. They are at an advantage so far in the bot lane, that is, until Mystic and Conan really have their ultimates available to them. Again, Braum has a lot on his kit where he can deny some of that damage with his stand beside me, stand behind me, the wall.
Yep.
The big thing that he puts up, his door.
Oh, that'd be the Unbreakable. Spirit's going to tank up a spear, though. Swift makes his way in. Play Trixie going to get Spirit to safety, and he locks down the blue buff for himself. In goes Doinby once again. Nice work by Qiao to get the shield down, but you can see Doinby's taking about 0 damage.
And again,
roughly.
Just these trades so early against Kassadin because he doesn't have the burst damage with the Titan's Wrath, which is something that makes lane Nautilus so oppressive. And that's what Aluka actually starts when he takes the top Nautilus, as we see Dragon going down for Xiao, is he takes the Titan's Wrath first instead of the Riptide.
Yeah, and you grab Riptide second when you really want to be shoving out the lane.
The idea is that you, so naturally you don't get the wave shove, but you still get your CC because of the CC on Nautilus's auto attack, as well as the shield. So you're level 1, you just become, you still get the CC that you would obviously get on the Riptide, but you just get that much tankier.
Well, Mystic and Conan still doing a decent job here. 7 CS in the lead. is Mystic, with that BF sword giving him a whole bunch of extra damage and trade power, especially when paired with that buckshot. Of course, buckshot pretty powerful, especially once you have a couple of levels in it. He's at level 6 now, though, so waiting for Conan to grab that Tibbers. That's when things could really start to go downhill for Xiaogu.
Yeah, this is when it gets scary. Well, like I said, a ton of kill pressure on this lane. Xiaogu doing a good job, though, just kind of playing out the early game to be farm-oriented. They got the dragon initially, and there is a discrepancy between TNT and Mystic, but that's really to be expected.
Mystic actually going to block.
TCT?
Yep.
He should have dropped Tibbers right there.
That was all over a sequence.
He should have dropped Tibbers right there and just deleted him.
Well, not going to this time around. GA has gone back, picked himself up that Catalyst, well and truly on his way towards the new and improved Rod of Ages. TNT, TCT soaking up some experience in grabbing all of these creeps underneath this turret.
TCT doing a good job setting up for him. Likewise, who has also been very quiet is Spirit. That said, Swift doing a good job. He pooped a word.
He did. He certainly did. Finboard, though, he's going to be down in that box. Spirit knew that he wasn't seen, but nice defensive play there from Doinby. Make sure that he's not going to be backing in an inopportune place. They might be in trouble, but there are a lot of pings down, and Spirit seems to be... Yeah, everyone seems to be aware of where Spirit is this game.
See what they're going to do with that information. There's no objective because the dragon is down that they can trade with Spirit playing to the top side of the map, so they're not going to be punished quite yet there. That said, I mean, WE, a small window of opportunity to really play to their power points. Fizz is going to scale very well into late game. Shin itemizes well into late game. Cassidy, of course, but Graves has that big mid-game power spike before he kind of falls off a bit.
Yeah.
Versus, you know, someone like a Vayne.
And it's mostly just because of the fact that Graves has that shorter range. He does still have the steroid in that quick draw.
Yep.
But often, you know, using that sort of ability. Oh, there's the Glacial Fissure. Immediately the teleports come in for QG. Stands United on top of Mystic as well, but he's locked down to high heaven. Immediately taken out. First blood goes over to Swift, but they're not done. As I say it, yes, they are.
The beauty about that engagement, again, using the stand beside me, or stand behind me, excuse me, on the minion as a gap closer to make sure he got up close and personal to land that ult on 2, is that he also did it with the Unbreakable up, so that denied the immediate turnaround of the collateral damage into the Tibbers. So they had to wait until that ability went down, which is why you saw the kind of staggered follow-up.
You can see as well, Conan still has that bear in his back pocket, so Conan without...
No, he dropped it on Vayne.
Did he?
Yeah, it's just...
So Tibbers
it's like
is still wandering around. Yeah, my bad. Just saw the fact that the cooldown's down.
Well, it's also like a,
what,
30-second cooldown? No, it's higher at this level, but I believe max level it's like 35.
Well, it's actually a bit confusing. In the spectator client, it doesn't actually go on cooldown until Tibbers is actually dead. So Tibbers not quite dying just yet. So now is. He'll be back up again, don't worry.
Hopefully a bit more efficiently for a gank this time around.
True, we were able to get a decent damage spike down underneath there as the Shadow Dash comes in. Key Strike and some Vorpal Blades doing some work. But, of course, the tree not too worried about too much. Going to head back to base. Very even farm in that top lane. Jay's just having the time of his life here in the mid, though, as Doinby not around. He's got to lock it to the Iron Solari, though.
Yeah. Okay, so something about Doinby's mid lane Nautilus, just to clarify, is he still builds it tank, although before I believe he would do a double Dorn, similar to what we see in the top lane Nautiluses. Nautiluses. Oh, the max range Dreadline.
Yeah, super max range. The spear lands as well. Pounce from Swift forces the flash out of GA. Spirit here right in time for that blue buff to go down. Oh, Spirit might be in trouble here. Urchin strikes over to that minion. Spear lands. Another pounce could be there. Depth charge, sorry, is going to find its way in, but they turn around. Swift dies to all of the burst from WE. Doinby now hunting down Conan. TNT getting stopped. Conan with a perfect flash timing, but WE is so low. Everyone on QG so tanky. TNT with the double kill as Doinby looking for Conan. No one can find it. Conan kills Doinby with the tower. And Spirit still hunting around. TNT might need to be careful here as Spirit will have a decent amount of damage. The double kill for Conan. But he's going to die to the unofficial triple there for TNT.
Really nice posturing position from TNT to make the best case scenario out of that. And a cute little, like you said, reset. And with the condemn fadeaway to trade one for one there between TNT. That said, Vayne still relatively ahead. 3-1-1 against 0-2-2 on Graves. All of your gold, all of your kills went on to Conan with this Annie, which, you know, Annie can turn a game, but typically not from the support position.
Well, it depends what you're building. But at the moment, sitting on some ruby crystals doesn't look like a death cap to me just yet. We'll see what Conan decides to get. But 120, sorry, to 114 is the farm there in the mid lane. The spear narrowly avoids hitting Qiao in the face, and Doinby just walks right up to this minion wave and is able to sort that one out.
Doinby looking great as well, doing ridiculous amounts of damage despite the fact that he's really only got a Doran's ring to his name in terms of itemizing for it. That said, here comes the contest.
Yeah, Swift is going to get it, but the Chum the Waters is down. Qiao, Rift walks right on top of him. Spirit very, very low. V comes in, and he's tanking up so much now. WE with more members here, but there's 3 from QG that are refusing to take damage. Mystic over the wall. There's the Shadow Dash, but WE, they had the numbers advantage, and they had to leave.
Well, think about how much damage absorption this Locket of the Iron Solari in tandem with V being there with the Vengeful Maelstrom up against an Annie and a Cassidid. Again, all of your gold, all of your kills on 2 AP carries effectively, your support and your mid laner. So this early itemization for the Locket, again, yeah, Doinby still doing decent damage with the Riptide, especially if he hits all 3 ticks of it. But it's more so his defensive item that allows them to fight from behind like that with the numbers discrepancy.
Well, right now, QG locked down their second dragon of the game, completely uncontested. 1,500 gold the lead for this QG side. Is Doinby, refusing to move here in the mid lane.
I also love how aggressive Doinby gets on his Nautilus. The last time we saw him play it, he just wanted to fight all the time. And you wouldn't think, you know, Nautilus would translate into murder people 24/7. You would think that that would be like an AZ or an Assassin, something like that. But Doinby just goes hard on the pain when he plays Nautilus.
Yeah, Doinby actually going to be wandering towards the lane. Spirits here with the Chum the Waters, very low on mana as Doinby does have the blue buff. Oh, Shadow Dash doesn't find it here as immediately the Rift walks there, and Qiao gets himself a blue buff and a kill.
Brilliant setup from WE right there, knowing that Doinby exited the lane. They saw with vision because he exited out of creeps, knowing that he was going over to pick that up, set up a trap, and finally get Qiao his blue buff.
Yep, grab it. So that's one way of doing it there. Doinby going to be respawning, does have the makings of a Spirit Visage by the looks of things. With that Kindle gem. Trying to grab some cooldown reduction there as well just for the meantime. As Aluka pretty strong here on the top side of the map. Now 143 CS to the 145 as he cleans up the rest of the wave. But he's well and truly towards that Spirit Visage for himself. That's going to make him relatively untouchable, what with that Vorpal Blade giving him all that sustain. That being said, not going to be doing a whole lot of damage.
Big difference between these two is, of course, for some reason I thought TCT just jumped into the enemy jungler. My eyes deceive me. Big difference between these top laners, though, is the fact that you have armor as well as MR built up for Aluka on that Shen. Unfortunately, they haven't put themselves in a scenario where they can look for a big 5v5 and utilize that.
Yeah. A bit unfortunate for now, but Aluka still handling B very, very well.
Oh, here we go.
United there on the bottom side. Collateral damage comes through. Mystic able to flash out of the way. TNT wants to follow through. Conan does have the stun. The double onto TNT and TCT. And both of them are going to die here. Double kill for Aluka. Here comes the carry Shen. Are you ready, Frosker?
I'm ready for the carry Annie as Qiao finds Doinby, but is perhaps tickling.
No, not even doing that. He's just dying at it. That's his move. I'm going to lose health at you until you die.
Starting to trade even on the end.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose health on you until you die. He's still doing it.
Oh, he actually Rift Walked over the top of that one as well. Spirit lands the Chum the Waters against all odds. Swift making his way in. Oh, the flash out of the way of the bounce damage, but the takedown still going to be enough. Teleport in. A little bit late maybe for Aluka as he's looking for a Shadow Dash. Swift already out of here as Conan.
Guy's bloodthirsty.
So bloodthirsty. I love it.
Conan.
Swift, though, does need to be a little bit careful. V making his way in.
Get in there, Aluka.
There's the spear.
Yeah.
Swift hasn't missed very many of those as V-Twisted advances on top of Shen. TCT makes his way around. There's the Winter's Bite, forcing the flash. Spirit comes in, Urchin strikes down. Mystic finds his way back in, double stun there with the Incinerate from Conan. QG not going to find too much more, and they're just going to back away.
Unfortunately for Conan, TCT had a fantastic, again, another fantastic Unbreakable in there that denied the initial stun because he held on to it and waited for it to go down. He was looking for multiple members, so both supports playing fantastic right now for Xiaogu and WE.
3, 1, and 2 for Conan. Love that.
It's all of his carry potential with the double Ruby Crystal.
Oh,
so
baby.
much health.
So much health. The most health we've ever seen.
What is he building with it? He's already got a Sightstone.
I don't know. Could be going towards that Locket of the Iron Sky.
The double Kindle Gem.
Could be. Face of the mountain. Wants to grab that.
Oh,
we've seen it in competitive play before. The
he wants a talisman.
No.
He's going to sell his spell thieves.
Actually, no. He's going towards Righteous Glory. That's what he's building.
He could just have a talisman.
He could. But not this time. No, we actually saw Relic Shield Annie, just because you can get the mana reset on your Q, so you may as well be taking down minions.
Top lane Annie is fairly common in Ionian solo queues, but they play a tank, and the idea is these...
Molten Shield, probably?
Yes, it's like a built-in Thorn Mail, and then
it.
you get a Roa.
And now it speeds up your Tibbers as well,
Exactly.
and activates on your Tibbers. There's a lot to be said for tank Annie. You're basically 2 tanks.
I believe Looper's played it competitively in the LPL to 0 success.
Yeah, he has. It was his answer to Na when Na was very, very strong. He decided, yeah, I'll take Annie into it. Has never worked. He's got a lot of ages though, so it wouldn't necessarily tank Annie.
Told you that they just play Roa, tank Annie in the top lane, but the
Roa
difference...
into tank after that. Oh, well, Doinby taking no damage again. But they do lose the turret here. Mystic actually... Okay, I think Doinby did collectively more damage than both of these WLs. Death Charge comes in. V teleported.
Comes a Luca.
Stand United is there. Is he going to make it in? He is, but Mystic's going to die for it. Conan now at half health as TCT just running after him with a chair. A Luca as well. He's going to die, and QG taking control of this game.
And then Doinby teleports back mid lane, so Spirit and Qiao can't even trade the resources to push down mid-tier tower, at least get damage on it.
Oh, and Swift as well has gone for sort of the ultra value build here with the Rod of Ages as well as that Runeglaive. He's going to be tanky. He's going to have so much damage there as well. QG now turning it on. They've taken out the whole outer ring of turrets. WE do have more turrets than M3 had in their entire last series now, but I mean, that's about all we can really talk about here.
Showing up the former sister team.
True. 3 dragons, though, for QG. And it feels like WE forgotten that dragon even exists.
They don't have the greatest dragon control. Naturally, though, they are not last place, second to last place. So that goes hand in hand with losing games and not having decent dragon control, so that's that. Not going to reveal a ton. Look,
He takes no damage!
he's got a Spirit Visage and Locket of the Iron Soul. Likewise, we have another completed Spirit Visage on top of Merc Treads coming from V, which typically he likes to rush Righteous Glory no matter what the case. So just so much respect given to Conan and Qiao, just denying them all the damage.
Yeah, and Spirit, I guess, is going to be doing majoritively magic damage, not to mention a Luca as well. So it's only Mystic, but they seem to be just killing him. So they don't need to really worry about his damage.
Well, this would also be a different game if your AD carry didn't have the most assists on your team.
Yeah.
If he had just 3 of those in the kill column, very different game.
Incredibly different story. He does have a 30 CS advantage.
It's about 900 gold. Worth a nice pickaxe.
Glorious little pickaxe there. Going towards what looks like the Phantom Dancer is his next option here on the Graves. Well, Qiao, you're dead. Oh, Stand United's down. They're trying to save him. Conan gets in there with the Tibbers. Qiao now turning it around. Rift walks aggressively. Spear not going to find anything. Bear Gold being looked for by TNT. Nails it with a 50G.
They force out the Stand United as well as the Tibbers. Now, one of these cooldowns is more punished than the other. It is going to be the Stand United as it is a longer cooldown. So we'll see what Xiaogu do, playing perhaps with map pressure since that's 1 global down.
Yeah, it is. Oops, Spirit able to bounce out of that one. Swift not going to be able to steal this red buff though. Spirit does need to be very careful. He's having his jungle experience marred a little bit by Swift at the moment, who is just pouncing around being a nuisance. You can see Annie getting caught by the spears and Swift. One thing that's really impressed me to no end has been his accuracy with these Qs. It's been nuts.
Fantastic Nidalee player. That said, the difference between Spirit and Swift is, again, Swift gets to look between his top lane, his bot lane, and his mid lane and feel a lot more comfortable because they won every single lane this game.
Yeah.
Although, something should be said for Mystic is that he does have a CS lead by about 20.
Yeah, it was 30. So he's been closed a little bit by TNT, but Mystic has had a decent laning phase.
You know, aside from the 3 deaths.
Yep. So apart from the dying, he's been fun.
Apart from that dying thing, you've been doing great, man.
Yeah. Well, Spirit is going to get caught by a dredge line. Don't be able to get a decent combo off. But, of course, doesn't do a lot of damage necessarily. Distortion completed by both top and mid. Doinby and V just going to be teleporting all over the Rift this game. 5,000 gold, the lead for QG as we head towards 25 minutes in this game. We'll see what the next point of contention is going to be. And it looks like Doinby just more than happy to continue shoving.
No one can do anything to him. He's effectively waiting for WE to try to commit onto killing him and then allow his team to take a tower. That said, WE, you know, doing a good job realizing, you know, Nautilus probably can't siege anything. I bet if we just walk away from him to the other side of the map, we can get something for free.
Yeah, well, they do manage to take down that top tower. Lucidity Boots and the Abyssal Scepter completed for Swift. So that's 3 items and completed boots here for Swift on this Nidalee, who's a jungler. Shouldn't be getting quite that many resources, but 3, 2, and 4, very strong at the moment.
Likewise, that Abyssal Scepter will empower Maokai and Nautilus's damage.
Yeah.
I would say Braum as well, but it's just Braum. It's kind of an Athenes, though.
An Athenes? You mean a chalice?
A Thirsty Cup versus the big gulp.
Yeah. Thirsty Cup. Love it. Well,
here comes a double teleport.
Yeah, another
from the
one.
same ward.
Exactly. Death Charge comes in. Conan's the focus. They know where the damage is coming from. We do have the Stand United. Conan is going to have a friend here as Chum the Water's going to get QSS'd out off here for TN2, who's now able to get a whole lot of extra damage down. WE's health bars are melting, but no one's dead just yet apart from Aluka as he's just fallen down. Mystic's going to get stunned up. TNT, oh my goodness, CCT did die, but that's a 4 for 1.
And Spirit did a fantastic job threading the fish onto TNT. That said, QSS was popped, he dropped the fish, and he went to town. And Xiaogu are just so tanky that WE's front line can't get through the tank line long enough to reach Vayne.
Well, most of QG is a tank line. That's the ridiculous part. It's only TNT. The rest of these players are just pretty huge. Even Swift has a decent amount of health there with the extra magic resist to boot of that Abyssal Scepter. So, yeah, this is just a frightening thing to deal with when you are WE, especially when all of that magic resist, as long as Mystic stays alive, WE are okay, but let's see it again.
So here's the engage on Conan, like you said, locking it up because he got a lot of the kills. Their Spirit gets onto TNT. Swift does a fantastic job covering him, forcing the Spirit to go back into the team fight. But now that the fish has been dropped, TNT just goes to town as Xiaogu push forward with their tank line, just picking up any of the stragglers.
Yep, Swift just pouncing over that wall as well. Conan not long for the world. Red line not going to find Spirit. And Baron has been secured. So QG now looking to try and push down every single lane. Try and translate these 3 turrets into a few more. Ooh, Elixir even completed by Swift as well. They're looking to really try and make things happen now. Swift hunting down the Fizz. You can see WE cannot defend.
See if they're able to break down this inhibitor, though, or even possibly break the inhib line.
We're looking for a shadow dash here, by the looks of things.
Doinby didn't take any damage.
Yep, again, back in.
Didn't have Titan Breath that time, took damage.
Yeah, standing out in front, not going to get punished too much for it. Was able to get a Force Pulse across the wave. Spirit dodging out of the way of Swift, or attempting to at least. Urchin strikes his way into the wave. There's the smite down, actually takedown for so much damage. Chum the Water's onto Swift as Mystic's making his way in. Buckshot's there, but Mystic doesn't want to move too far forward. They know that a lot of the damage in the top lane. QG just going to take down the mid lane inhibitor turret. Conan going to get locked up by the depth charge. He's not going to be long for the world as he falls down, and GA now looking to try and create some safety with his Nexus turrets, but Mystic can't even get in there. And now that they've lost Conan, WE just watching their base melt.
Mystic left to go assist Spirit to make sure that Swift couldn't chase him down. He smited the creep wave because he was trying to open up space to look for a spear on the assassination. And with the primary wave clear gone, because again, it's a Kassadin mid, Kassadin doesn't have great wave clear built in, Xiaogu pull the trigger.
They do, and they take down the inhibitor there as well. So that's 2 towers and an inhibitor for this Baron. We'll see whether QG can make any more of it. Of course, still has about a quarter remaining, but that's not too much time. And V did have to head towards the bottom lane to clear out that way. 4 dragons to 0 now for QG.
We now have a 35-33 5th dragon win condition for Xiaogu.
Oh, Aluka in with the Stands United. Does try and get the Shadow Dash, but Swift immediately going to get out of it there with the Mikhail's Crucible from TCT. Aluka going to get stunned up, but he's pretty tanky. Spirit does have to be very careful as Swift trying to land some more spears. He hops out of the way. Aluka, though, might be in trouble. Nice use of the Glacial Fissure. Doinby just rushing forward. GA going to get over the wall, but Doinby takes no damage. Swift destroys Conan. Mystic depth charged into the sky. Minion wave in the way of the dredge line there, but QG relentless, and Doinby's just so big. He's
got a righteous glory now. That's what caused him to go so fast, rushing forward into that team fight.
Yep, he's, I'm scared. On behalf of WE, I'm terrified of Doinby right now.
Doinby ruining solo queue experiences since his first Nautilus mid pick.
Yep. I'm gonna start playing it.
I play it.
Yeah. You're an awful server. Yep. Well, TNT, a lot of damage here with that extra BF sword on top of his 2 attack speed items. Doinby was tanking that turret for a very long time. Didn't take any damage. He's sort of forgotten how that damage taking thing even works. Now just going to be backing right in the middle of the lane.
Get him, Aluka.
Just not scared. Of course, Aluka not too scared either. And this is going to be the stupidest fight in history. I think we're cleared by WE.
See, but the thing is, Doinby knew it wouldn't be a fair fight, so he had to back up. He knew that something suspicious was going on, that possibly Conan and Spirit looking for a flank.
Someone was doing something silly. But 3-0 and 6 for V as well. This guy's had a brilliant game. TNT completes the Mercurial Scimitar. Does, of course, have that Cloak of Agility as well. Elixir of Iron now for Doinby. Wants to be the largest man on the Rift. Already was, I believe, but wants to continue it. Grabs himself a blue buff there as well. Mystic finally with his Trinity of items in the Last Whisper, Phantom Dancer, and Infinity Edge, so he might be doing some relevant damage moving into the next team fight, but we'll see whether he can stay alive during that time.
It's still an issue is that you have to get through this tank line. It does have the Last Whisper now available, like you said, so a little bit of help there, but it's not just, you know, V and TCT. It's also their mid laner.
Yeah, precisely. It's looking worrying here. Swift even more health now with the Rylai's Crystal Scepter completed, and if anyone gets tagged by a spear, I don't know how far they're going to be moving. Mystic going to try and get some damage onto Doinby, but I don't think he even can be bothered doing that. Because without any armor, still basically untouchable. Siege is on though, and the split push as well as V's heading towards the top lane, and this inner turret is going to die as well. Swift takes that one down, 7-2 now on the turret score, and the inhib turret under fire from this Maokai, just smacking it with his bark, with his branches.
And no one is...
oh wow, that was fantastic.
And no one is responding to him.
Depth charges. Doinby's actually going to aggress on all of WE by himself. Spirit has to be very careful. Doinby has only lost a couple of health points, but TNT takes down Spirit. Conan going to be the next victim here. Doinby finally falls down, but it might be enough here for QG as TNT able to flash around the fight. 4 dead. Aluka the only man standing, and this will be game as QG take the first one.
Hashtag Vayne Mechanics. TNT looking fantastic in that last fight, using the flash and the reposition to dodge out of the cone damage from Kassadin, and then lifesteal enough backup to survive the rest of the fight. That said, that was entirely on the back of Doinby and Swift's performance.
Yeah.